All right, we are back. We are live. Welcome back to our weekly live feed. As you're logging on, say hello. Tell me where you're coming in from. Type into the comments. And as you can see up here on the screen, we have our Black Friday sale QR code. Okay. So this is our very last Black Friday sale we will ever do. If you haven't noticed this year, we are getting rid of all of our big major sales. So this is the last time we're ever doing this. So we're blowing out big. So we are doing buy one, get two free on suits. So what you need to do, whoa, I got it live up on my Instagram. And when I did this, balloons popped up on my phone. I'm waiting to see if it's gonna do it again. It's not gonna do it again. I don't know. It happens all the time. I don't understand how these little reactions happen on the iPhone, but they do. I just had balloons fly up on my live on Instagram. But anyway, so Black Friday sale. Scan the QR code. This gets you registered for early access to our VIP sale for this Black Friday sale. So those of you that have not been a part of our sales before, we only have a limited amount of packages, so you need to be in line so you can grab them. And like I said, this is going to be huge. It is our very last one that we are ever going to do, so you want to get on this as quickly as you possibly can when we open up. Good evening from Orlando. What's up, Shawana? So scan that QR code. The link is also in the description box here on YouTube. If you are logging on Instagram, we are live on YouTube. I'm going to leave it on Instagram for just a minute. Then we're going to log off. Go over to YouTube because you'll have a better experience. You'll have the screen shares, all of that. We have several shows to go over tonight, so we got a lot to do tonight. Happy Wednesday. Yes, as you guys are logging on, again, say hello. Always love to see you drop into the comments here. If you didn't see it already, we did put up a new episode of Coffee to Cigars this morning. So check that out. It's been getting a lot of really good positive feedback, so I'm happy about that. What else we got going on? A lot of stuff coming up. We got CCTS coming up. So now that we are over like the big shows of the year, we're really going to start focusing on CCTS. If you are coming and you have a ticket already, make sure that you're in our WhatsApp group because that's popping off. We got all of our girls in the WhatsApp group. What am I missing? I feel like I'm forgetting something that I wanted to talk about and I can't remember what it was. We're going to be shooting another Behind the Bikini tomorrow, so that's going to be coming out tomorrow. So make sure that you're paying attention for that. What else? Somebody help me out if I'm missing something. So for those of you that are on Instagram, go on over to YouTube. I'm going to turn Instagram Live off. So go to our YouTube channel. Hello from Utah. Kelly is getting ready to get on stage this weekend. I don't know how I find the time, but I do somehow. Somehow I find the time. Somehow. We've all got the same 24 hours in a day, right? Oh, I was going to mention something. I don't know if you guys can see this on the live, if the resolution is good enough or not, but like I have this bump right here. It's driving me nuts. I got Botox touched up yesterday. And, sometimes you get little bruises from Botox and stuff, and that's what this is. It's driving me absolutely insane. So hopefully that goes down over the next day or so, but it's driving me nuts. It's like, it hurts. My face is so lean from being in prep. My skin is so thin from being in prep that it's like every little thing. Like you can see my freaking cheekbones, my jaw. Like I'm like, ooh, geez Louise. I'm looking forward to putting some body fat on. Though, guys, I've been talked about this on Behind Bikini a lot. I'm up to like my caloric intake is the same as what it was when I was in off season right now, and I'm not putting on body fat. So it's fun times. Fun times. How are y'all doing tonight? Can you tell I've had some coffee? Can you tell? All right, so this evening we are going to wrap up this past weekend shows. Now, I did forget to put on the banner the Prague Pro. We are going to go into that just a little bit. We're not going to go through all of the competitors on that one, but I am going to notate a couple of things in regard to that particular show. Yes, you got your new suit. I can't wait to see it. So Prague Pro was fun to pay attention to if you guys didn't watch it. We'll start with that, and then we'll go through the rest of the shows, and we'll go into preview this coming weekend shows. It was fun. It was fun to watch with the whole thing with C-Bomb. How many of you guys watched that? Comment. Let me know if you actually paid attention to the Prague Pro this past weekend and the kerfuffle with C-Bomb. So just to kind of give you an overview of it, Chris Bumstead came in second in the open men's. So they do prejudging on Friday, Friday? No, they do prejudging on Saturday and then finals on Sunday. So everybody thought he was winning at prejudging, but that was also because Martin Fitzwater was not at his best. And then on Sunday, Martin came back and ended up winning first, and Chris took second. I do pay attention to like bro chat and stuff like that too. So they were talking about how I'm gonna butcher this, but Martin popped like a hamstring or something like that while he was on stage during prejudging. So his body started like flooding with cortisol, so he wasn't as sharp as he typically is. He's usually known for being very conditioned and all of that, and he wasn't as sharp as he typically is. So Chris was edging him out, and then he came back in on Saturday or Sunday, improved. So he ended up beating Chris. So everybody's happy for another person. Yeah, it was really cool to see that, and it just goes back to, Chris is just he's a great spokesperson for the sport in general. So, he just did a very, like they tried to make it about him and everything too. And he deferred the spotlight back to Martin when Martin did win it and all of that as well. So, I thought it was a really cool story. So if you haven't looked into it at all, just go check that out. We're not gonna spend too much time covering the men, but it's cool to see that kind of thing and see somebody that's such a good, like I said, spokesmodel for the sport, really spokesperson for the sport. And it's just fun to watch stuff like that. So we are going to talk about that really quickly. I'm going to bring the girls up from that particular show. We're not going to go through the entire top 5, but I do want to mention a couple of things because, there's a little bit of controversy with the whole thing because Valeria won it. I believe this is the 3rd time she's won this show. So the thing with this is that Valeria always comes in very, very lean. We've talked about her before. She has an incredible shape. She's a beautiful girl, but she always comes in so freaking shredded, and it's just not the bikini standard, So people were all up in arms over the fact that she won this show because she was shredded. I mean, look at her quad. Look at that feathering in the quad. I mean, her vascularity through her shins and her calves here. She was shredded, okay? But here's the thing. She was the best of the girls that were there, right? At the end of the day, somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. So she was the best of the ones that showed up. Oh, there. I was trying to make this bigger. That didn't work. I'm trying to make this bigger for you guys. No. I guess what I had was right. Oh, well. It is what it is. Anyway, so the unfortunate part about the European shows is that the girls just do come in that much harder and that much leaner and everything too. So it's very difficult to judge the standard. The thing with Valeria is that she does have amazing stage presence. She does have, an incredible shape. She has an incredible look. So at the end of the day, she was the best one there, but this is far too lean. If she is in any show here in the States, she's going to get penalized for this. I mean, look at her calves. This is just way too hard. She's very vocal about the fact that she loves coming in this type of condition. It is what it is. This is how she likes to look. So you can't knock the girl for coming in the way that she likes to look, but this is not the bikini standard just in general. That said, like I said, the reason why she won this show is because she was the closest one to the criteria that day. So while she was too lean, she still had the right proportions. She still had the right look. She still had the overall look that they're going for bikini. So while she is getting knocked for her conditioning, she still was the best one that day. So comment in, tell me something. Do you guys understand that the reason why she won the show is not specifically because she fits the criteria, but because she's the one that fit the criteria the best that day? Does that make sense how I'm saying it? I'm looking at it now, trying to see if they have comparisons. They don't have comparisons up for bikini. So I'm going to see if I can show you anything. The girl here that came in second is just as lean, a little bit fuller, but waistline isn't as good. She's still got the vascularity going on too. She's just as lean. Her shape just isn't as good. Let's look at her back shot. You know, you look at her from the back, and again, she's a touch softer than Valeria, but her proportions aren't as good as Valeria. Yeah, she's very balanced, correct. Yep. So this is the girl who came in second, you know. So again, still this girl is a touch softer. You can see it here in the hamstring tie-ins, but her shape isn't as good. So, you know, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Which direction do you go? Somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose that day. It is what it is, you know. Like you can't just say, well, there's no winner here today. You can't do that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm looking at when you look through all these photos again, and this is something that we've talked about, most of these girls too that placed in the top 5 at this particular show, I've reviewed them in previous reviews and said they need more glutes, or they need this, or they need that, or their pose needs this, or this, or this, or this, or this. You know, Valeria has all the puzzle pieces. She has the posing, she has the look, she has the glutes, she has the shape, she has the overall balance. She's just too lean. You know, she's got the one thing. She's too lean. The rest of it, she's got everything. So, I mean, I would have to do the same thing that the judges did that day, even though she's too lean, right? So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about with that particular show. And that's it. We're not going to go through each one of the girls because again, I've talked about these girls before, and it's the same thing at this show. You know, nothing different. Next show that we're going to go into, we are going to go into the Ben Weider. So we're going to go through the top 5 of the Ben Weider. I was there in person. So you guys know this was the drug tested show this year. So Olympia qualifier, Lana did win it. Lana actually won her pro card at this show 3 years ago. So this is her first pro win, and she's going back to the Olympia here. So it was pretty clear from the get-go that they wanted her winning taking home that trophy, because they took and put 7 girls into the first call out and stuck her right smack dab in the center, right? So we knew Lana was taking home the trophy, basically, is what we knew. The girls in this show, the natural competitors are getting better and better and better, right? I will say that the majority of the girls in this show had smaller frames, smaller waistlines, smaller overall shape and look. But their conditioning was great. Their shape was great, all of those kinds of things. So while they had more petite frames, they still filled out that frame pretty nicely. Now, they didn't have as deep of conditioning as some of the other girls as we would see in a typical regular show, because these girls are natural. Just it is what it is, you know? So let's go through and kind of look at each one of these ladies, okay? So first we got 5th place was Stephanie. So Stephanie is actually a very tall girl, had very, very good stage presence, but there was a lot of things missing with her overall presentation. Beautiful structure and shape, okay? I actually really liked her front pose. She did it a little bit differently. She probably could stand to build some more shoulders and upper body to match with her lower body. Her lower body was very full. Now, again, she's a very tall competitor. I want to say she was like 5'9", somewhere around there. So she's a very tall competitor, but I actually really loved the way she posed her body. With that said, her tan was terrible. The suit color did not pop on her at all. Her hair was terrible, just being perfectly honest with you. I think if she was to fix all of those things, she would be a knockout. Like a stunning knockout, because her overall presence was gorgeous, but she missed the mark on a lot of these presentation details. So you can tell just looking at this particular shot here, her tan just looks a little bit muddy. It was very muddy in person. Like you can see that she's got muddiness here. She's got muddiness all over the place. It was very muddy. I don't know if she just did the wrong tan or she didn't skin prep or what it was. Her front pose was a little different than most, but I actually really liked it on her frame. I thought it fit her frame very, very well in person. Let's take a look at a back shot. She moved very slowly as well. One of my biggest critiques for her would be, as far as her presentation is concerned, pick up the pace. Pick up the pace. She was way too slow with her walk. It took her forever to get to the center of the stage. It was like watching paint dry. Guys, there's a balance between going too slow and going too fast. This pose was not good. She has a much better shape than what she was showing. She's bent over here a bit. Again, you can see how muddy this tan is right here. She's squeezing off her back. She's already got more mass on her lower half, so the fact she posed like this didn't help. She needs to go a little wider in her stance, bring the toes in a little bit, stand up tall. Now you can also see from this shot right here, the hair is really, really bad. Like, she had nothing on her that popped. The hair was the same color as the tan was the same color as the suit. Everything blended, right? So I would like to see her do a darker tan that didn't get muddy all over her. I would like to see her do brighter hair, longer hair, add extensions, and a brighter, deeper suit. She could do purple, but it needs to go deeper purple. This lavender did not do it. Did not do it. So again, these things, I mean, I'll be perfectly honest with you. If she had fixed those presentation details, I think she would have given Lana a run for her money. I really do. I think she would have given Lana a run for her money. She was one of the better conditioned girls in the show, and just you couldn't see it because of the tan. You just couldn't see it because of the tan. Next we had Brittany. So Brittany won this show last year. A couple of things. You can see it right here in this photo, actually. She has some lower ab distension right here. Very small, petite frame. So what she needs to do is just put some size on in general. And I've told her this in person too, because I know Brittany pretty well. She needs size. She just overall needs size. She's got great shape, but she needs size. Her abs are washed out here. Again, when she was moving through the poses, you could see the lower ab distension, and you can see she just needs some more size up here in the top. Her conditioning in her legs is pretty good right here, but she's just a little soft through the upper body. Pretty much from the waistline up, she's a little bit soft. Her pose isn't great either. She needs to twist that hip, bring the glute around. We're seeing her straight on. So again, if she was to twist this hip a little bit, we would see a much better shape here than what she's actually showing in this pose. I don't think she twisted it. No, she didn't twist it. So I wanted to scroll through. No, she didn't twist it. Let's get her to the back. All right. Back shot, again, great shape, just needs more size. Great shape, needs more size. Just in general, like her glutes are very full and round and all of that. Conditioning wasn't bad. Conditioning was pretty good, but her legs need some more shape here. Arms, shoulders, widen that back out. She needs to fill her frame out. Needs to add another layer of size on, needs to fill her frame out. Yeah. In general, the presentation wasn't bad. She just needs to work on some posing details. Like that particular pose, you could see her fingers through her legs. So she just needs to work on placement of her hands. I'm gonna butcher this name, Ukachi. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. Beautiful look, beautiful, gorgeous look. Love the hair and makeup. I would have liked to see a brighter suit on her. She's one that could get away with a lighter colored suit because she's darker skinned. Waistline needs to come in a little bit. You can see here too, same thing with her. Fill out that upper frame. Fill out the shoulders. You know, fill out that glute pop. All of that. Get some more shape here, right? And you know, this is not like her not posing correctly. This is her front pose. You know, I'm scrolling through. This is her front pose. She needs to tilt the pelvis a little bit more. Pull that waistline in tight. Just really show off the frame. But again, gorgeous girl. Has some good structure and good solid muscle on her. Back pose, she's a little flat. So again, great shape, great frame, great overall look here, flat. Now, this could also be a glaze thing. You know, I had my client Jennifer in this, and she came out for first looks, and she looked like she had zero glaze on her. I ran backstage, had them dump more glaze on her glutes. I was like, glaze, I need glaze. She looks like she looked flat because she had no glaze on her. So that could have been the situation here. She could have just been missing some glaze. I know they also didn't allow the girls to pump up backstage, which is something I was very upset about. Jennifer really needed to be able to pump, and they didn't allow them to take their bands backstage. So that could also be part of the reason why she is lacking any kind of oomph there. She may not have been pumped fully, but you can see she's got great shape here, great overall structure. Needs to open up the back. You know, same thing I said about Brittany. Needs to open up the back and get some more width up top. But this lower half, it looks like she needs glaze and she needs some fullness. She may have just needed to carve up a little bit more. She may need to pump a little bit more. Not really sure, but it just was lacking a little bit of pop in the back. And then again, I'm going to butcher the name, Hai Keung. Beautiful look. Makeup was off. You can see just from that preview shot there that her makeup was too light, which we tend to see this happen with the Asian competitors quite a bit. Also, the tan was off. You can see it's very muddy up top here, very muddy look. Another one that just needs to grow some upper body to match the lower, right? Lower body looks nice. She needs a little bit better conditioning. Conditioning was a little bit soft. Lower body looks nice though. She just needs to match it with the upper body. Take a look to the back. Now from the back, I actually liked her back pose best out of everybody. So she's got some nice fullness, some nice pop. You can see the delts on the outside. Of everyone in the show, I felt like she had one of the best back shots up there. Now, I'll also say, I said to Jennifer that I had Jennifer in the top 2 when it came to back shots. And I think this is also top 2. I think the 2 of them had the best back shots up there in the whole lineup. She had really good full round glutes, really good overall shape from the back. This was my top back shot from those top 3 girls. So again, she can still stand to use some more size. They all could stand to use a little bit more size, basically, but I thought she looked great from the back. And then we have Lana that won it. So Lana had the overall best package. Same thing that we talked about with Valeria. Now, on 2 different sides of the spectrum, Lana is definitely not too lean by any stretch of the imagination. But in general, she had the overall best look on stage. Best balance, best conditioning, best shape, best overall presence, everything, right? She still needs more size. She needs more size in the shoulders. You can see here, but again, she's nice and full. And one of the things that I always notice with Lana too, where I look, is I look to her lower back. Now she doesn't have the typical roll of like wateriness in the lower back here. She typically has a little bit more of a roll here, and she didn't have that here. So she was tight. This conditioning was very good. This is very good for Lana. So, it was pretty clear from the get-go that she was, we said that in the preview, that she basically was going to be the one that everybody thought was going to win this. She had this show in the bag if she brought in her best look. And to be honest with you, I think this was one of her better looks that she's ever put on stage. From the back, so again, more shoulder width, more back width, more delts, needs more glutes in the back too. This conditioning actually for her was very, very good, but she still needs more glutes. She still needs more glutes. In general, I think that her legs looked a little overpowering here in regard to leg glute balance. But again, going back to, I think this was one of her better looks. I did not have her winning from the back. I had the second place girl winning from the back. But when you take the overall look into account, again, Lana took the title, which, I think we all kind of knew that was going to happen. So that was this show. Any questions on any of that before I go into the next one? The next show that we're going to talk about is going to be Hawaii. All right. So Wu Bai finally got her win. So we're going to go through the top 5 here. So Eureka was in 5th. Let's take a look at Eureka. This was an improvement from her last show, and Eureka will be doing Japan this coming weekend as well. So in general, this was an improvement for Eureka. Really nice front pose here. Again, tan looks a little muddy. We see some muddiness. I remember the show last year though. It was very hard because it's just so humid and it was bad for the tans when it came to this Hawaiian show. Backstage is very, very dark. It's hard to see anything. So it's really hard to tell if your tan was good or not. It looks a little splotchy. She looks a little overglazed, but again, I'm not going to critique these girls too hard on that because I remember what the backstage conditions were at this particular show, and it wasn't great. It was very hard to deal with. I do like the suit on her. One thing I would say I would probably be probably try to pull this strap down a little bit because I see all these skin folds right here. That's kind of where my eye goes. So I try to bring that connector down a little bit and just see if that would help fix that a little. Overall, I like the structure of that back pose, or I'm sorry, the front pose though. Let's go to the back. So the one thing that I see that immediately my eye goes to with this back pose is her elbows. Elbows are out way too far. Just needs to relax that down. I feel like what she's trying to do, she's trying to open up her back to balance her upper and lower, which obviously you want to do, but that just looks like chicken wings out here. Also, her toes are out a little bit too much. It's almost like she's squatting down into it. So she just needs to relax this pose out a little bit, let her glutes fill out a little. Just kind of straighten the legs a little, bring the heels out a touch, let the arms come down, and just kind of relax into this pose. This just looks like she's just kind of tense and overdoing it. Great conditioning here, and I think it would have shown a lot better if she posed it correctly. I just don't think the pose was quite there for this particular show. So let's see. Yeah, and like it's not. She's squatting into it. She needs to stand up, right? Next, we have Rudy in fourth. Let's find a front pose. Here we go. Okay, so front pose looks pretty good. What I would say is tilt the pelvis because the upper body is taking over on width. The balance here is off. Tilt back with that lower back, right? Tilt back, get that curve going a little bit better. I think the conditioning is pretty good here. I'm just not a huge fan of the shoulders looking bigger than the lower half, right? That's the biggest thing I would change here. Also not a fan of that suit top. It's very like baggy and not flattering on her. Just doesn't look like it has much structure to it. So she needs something a little bit more flattering there, really. From the back, the hair is really messy. Looks very stringy, scraggly almost. Again, this could be a product of the Hawaiian humidity. Trust me, I understand. I was there. I get it. This back pose looks a little off to me as well. She's like, it's almost like she's knock-kneed a little, bring the knees in a little. She just needs to push back. I feel like she's pushing forward on her pelvis here too, just like she was in the front pose. She needs to push back. Maybe she's not doing that. She's afraid her hamstrings are going to pop too much. So I can understand that. But I don't know. We don't see the upper glute here. It's almost like the glute kind of blends into the legs because of that. So stand up tall, open up through the back. It's funny because her front pose is so open, but her back pose is really closed off. So a lot of this is pose right here. I just like to see her pose a little differently. Next, we have Hope. So we did not predict Hope to be in the top here, but she's got a cute little frame. She's done decent in the past. Let's bring up her front pose here. I did hear that from the judges' perspective, they thought she looked the best from the front out of all the girls, which I think she has a pretty good look here. You know, again, going back to, I think she's a little bit too wide on her upper body. I would relax this a little. Overall suit look is good. The tan look is good. She's not splotchy, you know, all of that. So I just relax this upper body a little bit. This looks really odd to me. She's kind of pulling that shoulder forward. Relax it. Just relax everything and push back with the lower back. And I think that would be a really good look on her. She's got tight, tiny little waist. Like her waistline almost sinks in. It's so tight. So overall, this is a great look. I would just tweak the pose a little bit and don't try to open up quite so hard on that upper body. From the back, nice shape, conditioning is soft, right? She's another one, she needs some more size up top here, open this up a little wider. Hair looks great, beautiful look here, beautiful look with the suit. Again, the tan is really nice, it's not splotchy, but she's just too soft through this tie-in area, right? Just by a touch. She just needs to be a little bit harder, just a little bit tighter from the back. But the shape is nice. I mean, she's got a nice round pop, you know, really pretty look overall. Just needs to be a touch tighter from the back, just a touch. Okay, we have Naday up next. And she's also competing this coming weekend. So I know just from talking with her coach and all of that her front pose is too far to the side. She got feedback at this show to open up her front pose, which I agree with. Again, closes her off too much here. Same kind of problem with the other girls had where her upper body looks too wide in comparison to her lower. Overall, her tan looks really nice. She's a little overglazed as well, but she needs to open the hips up a little bit just so she looks better balanced from top to bottom. She's too closed off here, and it actually makes her look like her waistline's thicker than it is because of the way she's twisting here, just too much. And I believe the judging feedback was that she was the best from the back. So same thing here that I would say about her arms. Her elbows are out too far. Just looks really overdone with that pose. So I would just bring the elbows in just a little bit, keep the back nice and wide. We got a little bit of frizziness going on with the hair. Again, common problem here in Hawaii. I get it, understand. Lower half of her back pose looks great. Just upper half looks like it's a little overdone. So I know she's gotten feedback in the past where, you know, they think that she's too short through her torso. So they're trying to get, I know she's trying to just kind of elongate that as best she can. That's what it looks like she's doing here. So this could be like the best of all worlds right here with the back pose, but I would just like to see those arms come down just a little bit just to not make it look quite so overposed here. Lower half of the body I'd keep the same. And then we have our winner, which was Wu Bai. Now, we've talked about Wu several times because she's gotten close, and there's just so many little things that she needs to fix. And from what I've heard, as far as the judging feedback, she just had the overall best package at the show. Now, one thing I noticed is that none of her pictures have her smiling, which I thought was interesting. Still not a fan of this front pose. Still not a fan of the shoes. Still not a fan of what she's doing with her hand here. Conditioning looks okay. She looks actually just a little bit puffy here, but that could just be the picture. I don't know. Looks a little bit puffy through that midsection. I don't know what she's doing with the front pose still. I'm just not a fan of the front pose. I just wish she would just work with somebody to get this front pose nailed. We talked about this extensively last week, so I'm not going to go into it too much. But I really think that she could fix a lot of these issues if she can get her poses right, man. Yeah, back pose. From the back, she's really twisting off to that side, and I know that that's happening because of the way she poses in her front pose. So she's not able to push over because she's just so twerked in that front pose. So she's got to work on that. Overall, I think this is a good back shot. I just keep looking at the heels. I think her conditioning is decent. It might be a touch too hard, but really not bad. Needs to fix the hair. Again, I've said this about everybody here in Hawaii because the humidity just is what it is, unfortunately. So I don't think that this messiness in the back hurt anyone because I think everybody had that problem. It's just that humidity. But, you know, again, get the hair off your shoulders so we can see the width in your back. Push this whole hip over to the side a little bit so that you're even. Just fix these posing tweaks. But she did win it. Like I said, I believe the feedback was it's just overall, she had the best overall look, just like we talked about with Valeria. Even though Valeria is too hard, she still had the best overall look. And that's what they said about Wu, that she just had the overall best look on stage. So that's what she won. So congratulations. She did win it. I just want to see her fix her presentation details so bad. If she could just fix those presentation details, oh, it would be like a different world for her, right? Okay, so lastly, we are going to go into the Atlantic Coast show. So this show, let's go to 5th place. We had Leslie Potts. So Leslie is actually a Masters competitor. We talked about this a little bit today during our coaching call with Fit Body, that a lot of the Masters competitors at this show did very, very well. Leslie tends to be towards the top in the over 40. You know, one of the things that her coach was talking about was just, you know, fixing, again, little detail things like her hair and stuff like that. I have seen Leslie in person. We competed together in Georgia, And I do think she was a little bit tighter there. This pose is a little off. She needs to push back on the hip a little bit more here just to get this really into the right spot. I think her glam could be bumped up a little bit too. This isn't the best glam look in the world. But she tends to be a little bit tighter when she's on stage. So when we see that from the back, she's just not as tight as she typically is. You can see the conditioning here. She needs to come in a little tighter through the hamstrings here. Needs to open up the back, and as you can see, the hair. The hair is a little treacherous right there, you guys. A little treacherous. Those details matter, man. They really, really do. So, yeah, those are the main things I would fix. Come in a little bit tighter. She does look a little splotchy in her tan as well. So you can see a little bit of splotchiness. So she needs to fix those kinds of things. Open up that back, fix the hair. Next we have Renata. I am not familiar with this girl at all, but let's find a full front pose. Well, just kind of moving through these. That's one thing when we get pictures from Dan Ray, we don't typically get, sometimes we don't get full on front poses from these girls. This is close right here. Okay. Okay, so I actually really like her overall look and her overall conditioning. I think she needs a little bit more upper body, but I think she could also probably pose this a little differently, like relax this arm. That would probably make this shoulder pop a little bit better, but she's got some really, really nice conditioning. She's got like the abs, well, she has some pretty significant ab definition. It's not like they're shredded. She's got some fullness there. So it actually looks really good. I love this glute pop. Like it actually looks really good. This is a very good package. I believe she's also a Masters competitor, if I'm not mistaken. I believe she's also Masters. Take a look at her back pose. There we go. And I would say from the back, phenomenal glutes, but she needs to open up her back. Like she looks very lower body dominant. So she needs to open her back up a bit here just to match the upper to lower. And, you know, honestly, like those are some pretty powerful glutes. And I think that her conditioning is very, very good. I think her balance in her glutes is very, very good. She's just missing the mark on her upper body. If she could open that up, I mean, she could have done better here, I think. Posing is huge, you guys. It's so huge. Ariana is next. Let's find a front pose. This is as close. I mean, she's got a couple of front poses here, and they both look the same. So this looks a little undone to me. It doesn't look like a full-on front pose. She's a little bit blocky and has some lower ab distension here. Again, tilt up and back with that lower body and just bring this hand down. This is almost like a teapot, which they should count off for. Foot position is not quite right. I think that everything stems from the feet as far as her actual pose. There's just a lot of little things I would do differently with this pose. I don't think it's showing her physique very well, and I do think she's got some lower ab distension here. So maybe that would be fixed if she was able to pose this a little bit better, but that's pretty noticeable there. Back shot. Okay, back shot. Back shot's posed decent, but it's almost like her knees are bent in. So needs to pull those knees out so she looks like she's in line. Conditioning is a little soft. She looks a little bit puffy. Upper body, I think, is better than what she's posing. I think she could pose this a little bit better and just show this a little bit better in general. But in general, from the back, I think she's a little off on her conditioning. While some of this stuff could be fixed through her posing, I do think her conditioning needs to come in a little bit as well. She's a little bit too soft. She also has some splotchiness in her tan. So there's just a lot of little, again, posing presentation details that are off. Posing presentation is huge, you guys. All right, so we have Angelica. So Angelica came in second. This was the one that everybody wanted to see, basically. Full front pose. Jeez, no full front pose. There's got to be one. Yeah, here we go. This is a full front pose right here. Okay, so glam look overall, I like it. I'm not a huge fan of the green. I wanted to go back to the purple. She's posed closed off a little bit here. Still has a little bit of that lower abs to pull in. Needs to pull up and open with the upper body just to balance with the lower body. She looks harder on the lower half than the upper half, so she needs to kind of open this up and pose it a little bit differently. I do like the glam look. I'd like to see more color on her lips. I think it's too neutral on her lips because it just looks like an overall neutral face. So just get her to pop a little bit more. I think this is a bit better than the Olympia, but still needs to, again, kind of fix this pose a little bit. I'd go back to the purple, continue to work on holding those lower abs in, all of those kinds of things here. I do think I like this look overall a little bit better than the Olympia. I think she's getting better, but there's just little things to still be working on. We don't have a full back pose. Oh, there we go. There we go. Kinda. I think her arms. No, we're good. We got a back pose. So shape from the back looks great. Again, needs some more shoulders, upper body. You know, we've said that before. That's not going to happen overnight. She needs to grow. Lower body looks good. She just needs more glute density, I would say. Has a little bit of splotchiness on the tan, a little bit. Not too bad. But in general, again, just more glute density here. And just needs to be cognizant of getting the hair off of her shoulders too, because that's where she needs more size. So we don't want to cover any of that either. So just be careful about those kinds of things as well. And I would say the same critiques that I've given to her before as far as just getting more density in there in the glutes so that she matches her front to her back. And then we have Taylor, who won this. So this was kind of cool because her last show, she placed 11th. She's never actually, placed at a show before. And then here she comes walking into this show, wins it, gets her Olympic qualification, beats a two-time Miss Olympia. It's pretty crazy, right? Beautiful look, beautiful overall shape. There's nothing wrong with this at all. Like, really bright face. Tan is on. Her pose is on. Her waistline's super tight. She's got fullness and roundness through everything. Like, her conditioning matches from top to bottom. I wouldn't change anything here. I wouldn't change a thing. We got back pose. I think her back pose is pretty good too. Good conditioning. Tight, but not too tight. Upper body's open. I would probably put a little bit of curl into the hair because I think that looks a little jagged. So I'd put a little bit of curl into the hair just to make it look a little bit healthier there. Fix a little bit of imbalance in her foot position because that's where we're seeing more leg here versus over here because she's got her toe out more over here versus here. So we're seeing a little bit of imbalance in that back pose because of her foot position. But in general, what I would say for working on towards the Olympia, just add more glutes, just more glutes. I would say more delts too. She's got a decent waistline taper here, but if she gets some more back and delts out here, that's going to just make it better. She's going to balance for their lower body a little bit better. But it's really cool to see somebody who, basically she was 11th her first show, and then this year, and then she came out and ended up winning this show. So that's pretty cool. So congratulations to her. Okay, so that's our show's wrap up. Now, we're going to go briefly into what we got going on this weekend. Any questions before we move over to this weekend's shows? Drop a comment if you got any questions. All right, so hopefully you guys can see me. My computer crashed. Comment. Let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. Comment for me. Let me know. Comment into the box if you can see and hear me. My computer crashed, you guys. This is saying I'm live right now, so I don't know. We'll see if I'm actually live or not. You can see me? Okay. Okay. I don't know what happened. My whole computer just crashed on me. Okay. So like I said, my entire computer just crashed on me. I am rebooting it right now. I'm on my phone. I pulled it up on my phone. So thankfully we didn't lose the live stream. Thankfully we didn't lose the live stream, but I can't screen share from my phone. So I am loading my computer back up. I'm waiting to see if it's going to come back up so we can discuss the pro lists. Give it a minute here. If I can't get the computer to come back up, it's loading. I just don't know if I can get it to come back up. If I can't get it to come back up, at least we got through. At least we got through all the wrap-ups. My computer's never done that before. It's getting old, apparently. Apparently, it was like, this is too late for me. I gotta go. Comment and tell me, what happened? Did you just see me go dead, or what happened? Was it just blank air for a minute? I'm surprised the stream is still going. I literally just rejoined it. Thankfully, I had it up. I had my streaming service up on my phone because I was just getting links and stuff off of there for tomorrow, for the podcast for tomorrow. No, I don't know what just happened. So guys, while I'm getting this up, I was just going to talk about the pro list tonight anyway, because we have a lot of repeat people competing again. So, yeah, it froze, went out and came back in. Okay. Oh yeah, I was just out. I was done. Like, peace. We're out. We out. See you all later. So I'm waiting to see if I can get this to come out or come back up. But anybody want to comment who they would like to pay attention to this weekend? Say the show and say the competitor. Okay, type it into the comments. Give me a show and give me a competitor that you want to watch this weekend. Because again, I'm reloading my computer so I can get the pro list to come back up. But I can't do that until it actually comes back up. So tell me who you're looking out for this weekend. You still see people waiting for you to come back. Yeah, at least I came back, right? I'm shocked. Like I'm actually really surprised that it didn't completely crash out. I didn't think I was going to be able to relog in. I was afraid I was going to lose the entire feed. So Naday, yep, Naday's one to watch for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to re-up this. I can't screen share because I can't get it back up on my computer, but I am getting the pro list to come back up. So we'll go through the pro list real quick. I'll just talk about who we should pay attention to on each list, if they'll load. Like, that's a sign my computer needs an upgrade or something. Currently training at Gold's Gym Tokyo, out here supporting Alex. Is it Cuff? Is that like Kolia making her pro debut? Okay, cool. Awesome. Congratulations. Have fun with your pro debut. I'm jealous. Japan is such a good show. I did it last year for those of you that don't know. I loved that. That is my favorite show, period, bar none, that I've ever done. Lower ab distension is usually a yes posing thing, sometimes a digestive thing, sometimes just muscle control. It just depends on the person. So looking at the Japan list, I would say to pay attention to Xinyi Chen. You just said Alex Kola, so she's on there. I see that. I would say Eureka, Ekaterina from Russia. Elizaveta, she hasn't been on stage all year. Anybody else? Anybody else we should be watching in Japan? China Milton making her pro debut. She won DC Pro and became pro at Universe this year. Yeah, I remember. Well, she already competed as a pro, so it's not her pro debut. She did compete as a pro already. So that's Japan. Sorry, my computer's just not going very fast. So I'm assuming China's in Kansas City. Yep, Kansas City. So we got China and Kansas City. We got Brittany Gillespie there. Kimber's there too. Kimber didn't do well in her last show, but she's been doing top fives previously. We just talked about Brittany Schulman. Who else? I wish my computer was going a little faster. I could look all these girls up. It's just going friggin' slow trying to get back up. Anybody else in China or anybody else in Kansas City? I was just looking up China, and you're right. I thought she competed as a pro already. She hasn't. She competed in Universe. I thought for some reason that she had competed like the next week as a pro, but I guess not. I thought she'd already done it. Must be thinking of somebody else. And then we have the One Bro Pro show too. We'll give it another minute. If anybody wants to shout somebody out, go for it. I'm just happy that my phone was up and I was able to get back on the live. That's gotta love technology, you guys. You gotta love it. Anybody else you want to shout out? That's gonna bother me as far as who won. Oh, it was Koa. It wasn't China. It was Koa. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah, Koa went on and did the Chicago Pro right after winning her pro card at Universe. Koa and China were both in the overall at DC at DC Pro Am. That's why I got them mixed up. That's it. Yep. Got it. Well, guys, thanks for sticking with me. Appreciate it. Like I said, I'm glad that this popped back up. Go ahead and drop into the comments who you're looking forward to seeing this coming weekend. We've got a few more shows left in the year. And then we got Thanksgiving next week. I will definitely still do a live feed next week, but it'll probably, depending on when we get photos, maybe Tuesday, just because we've got Thanksgiving Thursday. So, yeah, let's see how this weekend goes. Have a great rest of your week, you guys. Enjoy your weekend as well, and happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you next week. But let's try to jump on Tuesday next week so we can do a live feed prior to. And like I said, Behind the Bikini will be shot tomorrow, so you'll have that to get you through the weekend. And that's it. Have a great night.